Hello everyone. As Chris mentioned, I am Sarvesh. I am a software engineer at Facebook. I have been at Facebook for around a year now, but like I am a software engineer for almost like 5, 6 years. I'm in the industry for like 5, 6 years. And today my aim is to take you all through my journey, like how I started from my childhood, what I was doing, how I got interested into software engineering, basically how I got interested into engineering and then software engineering, and then how I ended up in Facebook. And then maybe after the end of my presentation, we can like take questions, whatever you have, and like I'll try my best to, let you guys know and answer your questions. So yeah, so let's start. Uh, as I promised, like a little background. So I'm from a very, very small village in India. So I'm from India, and even from India, like I'm from a very small village named Katihar. So like if you can see, I have pasted a picture of my hometown. So the hometown is so small that I could not find any good picture. The best thing which we are proud of our hometown is the railway junction. So the railway junction we have in our hometown is really big. Almost all the trains go from there. So that is something which we are proud of. And these are like some of the pictures of my childhood, how I was like a very naughty boy in my childhood. My mom used to, so at that time we did not used to have like amazing cameras with amazing like memory. You can take like so many pictures. So my mom used to take me to a studio every year on my birthday and used to get pictures clicked of me. And these are the, like some of the things which are you can say memories. So yeah, I did my schooling from one of the best schools in my hometown. We did not have too many schools, but the Scottish Public School, this was like one of the best schools. My parents were really, really concerned about my studies from my childhood, and they managed to send me to this school. Uh, I was a really, really shy student in my like in the school. Like when I started, I was really shy. I did not want to go to school. I did not want to study. I want to be at home every day. I used to cry like I don't want to go to school. But slowly, like within a year or something, it started improving, and I really started loving my school. And at the end of the day, I was the school captain. Like it was a school of 1,000 students, and I was selected as the school captain, whose aim was to maintain decorum and make all the school students feel good about the school. Uh, I was really, really interested into being a doctor when I was like in you can say class 2 or 3. When I was at your age, basically, I was really interested in being a doctor. So we had our family doctor who used to come to us, solve any problem which any of my parents or my grandparents were facing, and I was like, this is so exciting, and I want to help the community, be the doctor, and serve patient. But then slowly I realized that if you are a doctor, you might have to do like some surgery, cut animals, cut people, and I was scared of cockroaches. So I decided, okay, this is not the very right job for me, and this is something which I should forget about. So then it was like, what next? What is something else which I'm interested into? So as I said, like it was a really small town, and we did not have much idea about what engineering is, what is happening around the world. And the only thing which I knew about was I am really good in maths and science. I love to do maths. I can like spend an entire day solving mathematical problems, like really, really tough mathematical problems. And the other thing which I love is science. I was a huge fan of physics. And so yeah, this is the only thing which I knew till that time, till my like undergrad, you can say. And then like some of my friends from school were saying that there's this place called Kota, which was like around uh, 2 hours, 3 hours flight distance from my place. And they were saying that this is a place where all the bright students who are interested into maths and science are going, and they are getting like a really good education. Uh, and that was the first time when I got introduced about engineering, what engineering is, what are the different type of engineers and what engineers do. And I thought, oh, this looks really cool, and why not give it a try? I was not sure which stream I would go into. I was not sure whether I like computer science or if I like civil engineer, if I like mechanical engineer. Uh, so I remember like from my past that there was one movie called Om Jaya Jagdish. It was a Bollywood movie, an Indian movie, which was based into two brothers who were really into engineering. There was one brother who created the fastest computer of the world in the movie, not actually. And there was one brother who created the fastest car of the world. And that was the first time when I knew, oh, this is really cool. I also want to be someone like who is building cars, or who is building aeroplanes, or maybe who is building like the tallest building like Burj Khalifa, or maybe in computer, like who is building the fastest computer. So I knew that I'm interested into engineering. I got to know that if you are good in maths and science, the chances of you succeeding into engineering increases. And then I got to know about Kota, which is a place where you get really good education for engineering. So I just decided, why not give it a try? So this was my first time away from home. Like I was all alone there. I had few friends, but no family member, nothing. So first time away from home, I was getting a bit homesick, but the environment there was so amazing. Everyone was so much into studies. Everyone was so much trying to get into uh, like get into really good universities for them, that all this homesickness like went away in some days. And guess what, like I did really well in that. I succeeded, like I passed in the you can say hardest Indian exam, and I got into a university called IIT Bombay, Indian Institute of Technology Bombay. And I got all India rank of like 1,000 out of 1 million student, which was like 0.1%. So this was the first time where my life got a turn, and I got introduced. Started doing engineering studies like properly. So this is my university. Indian Institute of Technology, Mumbai. It is one of the best universities in India. You get, so this is an engineering institute. You get to read about civil engineering, mechanical engineering. I'll tell you like what all these engineering means. But yeah, this is the school which teaches you all of that. Uh, this was kind of a dream come true for me. Like this was the first time went from a very small village to Kota, which was just like okayish town, and then to Mumbai, which is which is the biggest city in India. I think most of you guys have also heard about Mumbai. So this is the biggest city in India. This is like London of India, you can say. And then like studying from a small school, being good in maths and science, and then finally studying engineering in one of the most reputed university of India. This was like kind of a dream come true. Mumbai was amazing. It was, if you can see the city, it was an amazing city with a really nice beach, tall buildings, and like almost all the movies, all the Bollywood movies happened at Mumbai. So that was something really exciting. And then when I started my university, I started as a civil engineer. So as I said, like there are different engineering streams. There is civil engineering, which is into building bridges, building railway lines, tube lines, building like big buildings like Burj Khalifa. And I think somewhere like when I decided I want to do civil engineering, it was because of my hometown. As I said, in my hometown, the railway station was the most important thing which we used to look for. And that is a civil engineer work. So I thought maybe that is something really cool. I want to make more railway stations like my hometown, or I want to make like more and more cooler bridges. Like if you see now, civil engineering is expanding like anything. Earlier, we just used to have small highways, and these days we have bridges like the one I have like shown in the picture. And this is all civil engineering work. We have Burj Khalifa, which is like one of the tallest building of the world. That is again civil engineering work. So I thought that civil engineering is really interesting, and I want to pursue my career in that. So that is how I started my uh, that is how I started my university. Then, so in my university, we used to have college festival. It was you can say so basically it was more of a cultural kind of thing, not like a bit different from engineering, which students used to organize. Uh, uh, so I was a part of that festival. The name of the festival was Mood Indigo. We had a 22 people team. The budget of the festival was amazing. Like we had 1 million budget, and this is the time. Uh, like I was the working as a designer. So I designed this cool logo for our festival. This is the mascot of our festival, which was designed by me. So our theme was Wild West. So I really like, so that is the time when I realized, okay, oh, I'm a bit creative too. But at the same time, I was designing the website for our festival. And that is the first time when I got introduced to computer engineering. And I realized that, okay, civil engineering is cool, but computer engineering is something which I like more, which is something I want to know more about. So I was doing my entire course in civil engineering, but then I started reading about computer engineering. Uh, I did a minor course in my college about computer engineering. I realized that that is something also which I'm really interested in. I will uh, come to like my first job, which was flex trade, which was the first computer engineering job. I did not go into taking a job in civil engineering because towards the end I was more interested in computer engineering. Before that, I'll just cover a few of my interests and hobbies. Like I am a passionate biker. I used to go on a lot of road trips. Uh, I used to do a number of adventure sports. Like I've done scuba diving, bungee jumping. So yeah, this is me doing scuba diving. Cool. So this is all about my education and my previous my childhood, my education. Now let's come to the real world when you are working with some company, when you are doing a job. So this is my first company, FlexTrade. We used to build trading softwares for trader. And this is the first time when I got introduced to computer engineering in a proper way. I was writing a lot of code every day, and we were building like automated strategies to trade, to get money out of market. But then I realized that, okay, this is cool, but I'm more into helping people. Like in computer engineering, I want to work on a platform which is directly related to users and not to only to traders. So I switched my job. I joined a company called Coupon Dunia. It was a really small company. I wanted to work with a small company and not with a big company, to where I have like a lot of freedom to do things which I want, and I can build things from scratch. So this is the first company where I built my first app from scratch. This was more into providing coupons to user and make their life easy, make them buy things cheaper. So yeah, this is my, I can say my first job where I was building things from scratch. This is the first company where I realized that maybe why not try something of my own? Why work for some other company? I'm good in coding and I can build apps from my own. Why not build my own company? Why work for someone else? And that led me to start Handy Home, which was my first entrepreneur business. Uh, the business was doing good. I was able to make the team of size 25, and we got really good funding. We were doing amazing. But then there was like, we realized that all of us, me with my three other friends from university, we started the business. And then we realized that all of us are good engineers, but none of us is a good businessman. We don't know how to do business. We don't know how to sell our product, and we don't know how to earn money out of it. So I thought maybe this is not the right time to do a business on my own. Maybe the right time is to work with some other company, know about business sense, and then maybe start something later on. So again, I came back to corporate in a company called Direct Eye, which was into ads. So while doing my business, I was using Facebook ads, Direct Eye ads, Google ads a lot to promote my business to other users. And that is at the time when I got introduced to the ads world, and I realized, okay, this is the world which is making money for all the companies, and this is the world through which all the companies are getting introduced to the market. Like if you have a very small company, if you start a very small company, the only way for you to reach to other people is via ads. And that is what I realized when I was doing Handy Home. And that's why I joined Direct Eye, which was all into ads. And finally I got into Facebook. This is my final company. I have changed a lot of the company, but now I think I'm at the right place. I'm doing the thing which I like. The city is amazing. The Facebook culture are amazing. I'm working into ads, which I was really interested into. And like the advantages of working at Facebook is the peer group is too good. Like the Facebook hires the best mind of the world, and working with them makes you also the best people, kind of the best people in the world. The work is really challenging. These are like some of the Facebook core values. Like Facebook focus a lot on impact. So whenever we are working on something, we have to get a decision of like what impact this will bring to users, what impact this will bring to Facebook. Our culture is move fast. Like we try to, build things like really, really fast, build maybe like 2-3 products in a year, and then see like if they are bringing impact or not. If not, just scrap it down. Don't worry about it, and then move fast and learn from your mistake, and then do more things. The other thing is be bold, which is again, yeah, move fast, be bold, learn from your mistake, and then keep improving. And the final thing is build social values. So as Facebook is a social platform, our aim is to build communities. We want people to build community, to interact with each other and to help each other. And that is what we are trying here. So at Facebook, I'm not working on the main Facebook platform like Facebook, Instagram. I'm working on at the advertisement side, which is the main revenue making arm. And yeah, it's going good. Like it's technically very challenging when I'm working with Facebook. So if you are a computer engineer, the major thing which you want to face or which you want to learn is how to serve something, whatever you are building, how to serve that to like 1 million user or 1 billion user. All of them want to hitting you at the same time. And how can you ensure that you are serving result to them at the same time? For example, let's say if you are opening a website, if you are opening google.com, how does Google ensure that the website opens in like milliseconds so that you don't feel a lag? And that is the challenge which you face. And as Facebook, we have like 2 billion active users worldwide. So this is one of the major problems we face, and this is one of the major problems we try to solve. So yeah, that's more or less about my journey. This was like super quick. I'm sure you guys must have a number of questions. And now I will stop here and will give you time to ask questions.
Great, thanks, Sarvesh. So if teachers, if any of your pupils have questions, please could you type them into the chat facility. Could you make sure that the drop-down box above the chat, the message box, it says to everyone, please, so that everyone can see them. Oh, so we have the first questions come through, Sarvesh. So I shall.
Just one second. I'm trying to find the chat. Yes. Cool. Yeah. So the first question is, how did you find this is what you wanted to do? This is really nice question. As I said, like from my journey is from, I wanted to be a doctor to start with. And I did civil engineering in my college. And then I ended up in Facebook, which is like into software engineering, into advertisement. So like, as I mentioned in my PPT, it was a very slow process. It was not like from my childhood, I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I did not used to get sessions like this in which we got introduced to the engineering world. And then maybe in another session, we got introduced to the medical world. So like for me, the first turning point was that movie, the Om Jagdish movie, where I saw that, okay, people are building like amazing computers, people are building amazing cars. So that told me that maybe I'm interested into engineering. Then the other turning point was me liking maths and science. So if you want to go into engineering world, I think you should love maths and science. It should not be like you are just working on it. If you should love that. So I loved maths and science, and then maybe like I started doing job. I had to change a couple of jobs because I was interested into starting my own business also. And then ultimately I ended up in Facebook, and I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. If that answers your question. Okay, we have the second question. How were your living condition in your villages compared to London? Oh, don't ask about it. When I'm in London, this is super amazing. Like when I was in village, it was a really small village. We had around like the population was around in like 10,000 or 20,000 people. Everyone used to know each other. So over like community wise, it was amazing. And that's why maybe I'm in Facebook and trying to build community for other people. But then facility wise, we did not used to have proper electricity. We did not have good schools. We did not have good peer group to learn from. While at London, everything is amazing. The roads are amazing. The government is amazing. You are getting, everything is too good here. What are you most proud of? Yeah, being from a very small village with no facility. If I look back into my village, there are very few people like me who has come out of that village and now like doing the best job in their life. There are very, very few people, maybe one every year or someone. And getting out of my village and being in London, this is something which I'm really proud of. While at the same time, I want to help other people in my village. Maybe that's there in my plan that in future, I will go back to my village, start some school there, and maybe help like students there to grow. And that is what I'm trying to do at Facebook also. Facebook gives me a chance to reach to small villages, small communities, and improve education scene there. Who was your inspiration? like my mother, if like my mother was a really real big inspiration from me since my childhood. As I said, uh, my village did not have too many good schools, but my mother was always particular about studies. So people in my village started doing work, started going on, they started helping their father in his business from like really small age. But my mother was always into studies. She was like, I want you to study, I want you to grow. That is the only way you can get out of this village and improve. And yeah, she was my inspiration. She was always working, she was always trying to help me. She taught me till my undergrad. She taught me maths and science, and yeah, that was super amazing. What has been your most interesting project so far? That's a nice question. So in my whole journey, in my journey of 5 years, I've done a couple of really interesting projects. Choosing the most interesting one can be a bit difficult thing, but I can say that when I was in Pupandunia, that was the first time when I built something from scratch. So when you're a software engineer, there is a difference between changing something which is already built and then building something from scratch. Like when you're building something from scratch, you have to try a lot of new things. You have to fail and then improve again, then maybe fail again and improve again. And that is something which is really interesting. So when I was in Pupandunia, it was a very small company and I built a complete app from scratch, tried that app on a number of users, and then saw that, okay, these are the things which users are not liking, change this, do a lot of, test and fail kind of thing. So that was really challenging and really interesting. What is the other question? Have you inspired anyone else in your family to follow their dreams? Yes. I have been trying to a lot to inspire not only people from my family, but people from my village, people from my extended family. So I'm kind of a role model for them right now. They come to me whenever they want to know like what they want to do in future, and I try to guide them a lot. Like my nephew, my cousin brother, like multiple of my cousin brother, almost all of them came to know what they wanted to do in life by doing just counseling sessions with me. So this is something which I really focus on, because I was lucky that I had my mother and I got out of my village, but I'm sure other people are not that lucky, and I'm trying to be a guide for them. Is it hard to think of new ideas, ways to improve software? Yes. So software is growing like anything. At this point, software engineering is one of the most demanded field. In almost everything, uh, we use software. Like when we are talking right now, earlier it was not possible. Earlier I would not have been able to talk to so many people from so many different places just by sitting at my home. So this is one thing which is software, and this is how software is improving people experiences all around the world, people life, people experiences. And when you start thinking of new ideas, it is becoming really difficult uh, because like building a new idea is fine, but then how do you think of what new you want, because almost everything exists. So that is something which is really challenging. And then if you build something, whether people will like it or not, whether people will use it or not. To do video calling right now, there are like hundreds of solutions. We have solution from Microsoft, we have solution from Google, we have Google Hangout, Facebook is building portal. Which product will people like? If somebody is using something, how will he migrate to your product? You have to think of these things. Building a software is fine, but when you have the proper idea, when you know something which user will use, that is the more major challenging part. The other part is when you build something, you get really attached to your software. Now let's say you build something, you got really attached to it, and then people are not liking it. You have to move fast. That is something which Facebook is teaching me. You have to move fast. You have to scrap that product and start building something new, or you have to remove that feature and start building something new. That is again something which is like really challenging in software field, not getting attached to what you're doing. How long does it take to make you an advert? uh Sorry, I did not get this. What do you mean by an advert? Is it like how long did it take me to go into an advertiser world? I will go to the next questions. Saint Anthony's, can you please try and elaborate the question a bit more? Cool. I'll go to the next question till now. How many people download Facebook each year? Oh, that right now. So we already have 2 billion people. who have Facebook installed in their phone. So there are around 7 billion people in the world, and 2.5 billion are like our daily active users. So if you ask about number of downloads, the number of downloads is not increasing because people already have Facebook installed. But the number of people using Facebook, the number of daily active users. So we have people like who downloaded Facebook once but never tried to use it, and we are trying to reach those people. We are trying to ask them to use Facebook again and again, build community in Facebook. So the number of Facebook community is increasing, Facebook groups are increasing, people are using Instagram a lot. So yeah, like we had a 30% year-on-year growth last year on daily active users. So I think it was around 2 billion people who were using Facebook actively daily, and we reached to around 2.5 billion people. But the number of downloads, I don't think we count on that because people already have Facebook on their phone, most of the people. What kinds of problems you have faced in your journey? I have faced a number of problems in my journey. To start with, I did not know what I want to do. I just knew that I was good in maths and science, but I had no idea what I want to do. When I went to Kota, it was a really, really challenging environment. It was not easy being away from home, working with so many, reading with so many smart people, and then trying to reach a goal. It was really challenging. The first 6 months was really challenging. In my job, as I said, I have done my engineering in civil engineering. I have no background of computer science. I have done like 1-2 minor courses in computer science in my university, but I was not a computer science scholar when I graduated out of my university. The only thing was I was interested in computer science. So in my first job, all the other people were computer science graduate, and I was the only one from civil engineer. In fact, now even now in Facebook, I'm the only one who is a civil engineer who is working as a software engineer. Everyone else has done his graduation. Everyone else has done his undergrad in computer science. So this is sometimes challenging because there are some very basic core concepts which are taught in university. And since I have done civil engineering, I don't know about those concepts. So sometimes it becomes challenging. But over the period of 5 years, it was really challenging when I started my job. I didn't know anything. I always used to take help from others, read a lot. Like after my job, I used to come back home, spend 2 hours reading online, reading about computer engineering, do courses on computer engineering, online courses. And yeah, so those were like really challenging moments. At this point, I can say that I've spent 5 years in job, and now I'm good at those things. But yeah, these are the problems which I faced during my journey. So yeah, it would be really great if you are able to think of something now which you want to do. But you have seen my life now, and that is you can say that if you know something from the very start, amazing. But even if you don't know, you can just work hard and ultimately reach to a place which you love. So just keep trying, keep pushing yourself. If you're failing, just go back. Don't worry of failures. Like whenever you think about Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, or any big people, you only see their successes, but they have failed multiple times. If you read about Elon Musk, who is one of the most known entrepreneur of this world, he has been failing with electric cars. He has been failing with his mission to go to Mars, but he's still trying. So just keep trying, keep failing, and ultimately you will reach to a place which you love. Have you invented anything? What kind of invention have you created? Yes, in software engineering, you keep inventing new products. Like at Facebook, at this point, I'm building a tool for advertisers. I'm building up a software for advertisers, which can make their life easy in advertisement. Like they can target particular group of people, and so they're relevant advertisement to those people. So this is kind of a new product. At DirectEye, I started building video ads. So these days, like earlier, we used to spend a lot of time clicking pictures. Now we are spending a lot of time clicking videos. The trend of creating videos is changing, and like earlier advertisements were static images, but now all the advertisement company like Facebook, DirectEye, they're trying into showing video ads. Like when you are watching something on YouTube, let's say, you see a video ad before you start watching something. So everyone is trying to build that, and I built that from scratch from DirectEye. It was a really challenging work, but yeah, it was amazing. Did you have a prototype for the Facebook software? In what way have you developed the Facebook software? How has it changed? How long does it take to perfect the software? So again, this is a very, very nice question. A software is never perfect. Like you can never say that your software is perfect. Facebook is now used by 2.5 billion people, but still now we can't say that Facebook is perfect and there's nothing we can change about Facebook. We are constantly growing. We have to grow constantly. So because users' demand are changing, users get bored of things very fast. Like people now have so for Instagram, like earlier Facebook, Instagram were all about story, all about feed. Like you see Facebook post, you just keep scrolling and keep seeing posts from your friends. Then came stories, like Facebook stories. If you have used Facebook or Instagram, we have Facebook stories. This is one of the coolest thing in market. But we are sure that within 1 year, user will grow like bored of it, and we have to build something new. So a software is never stagnant. Like what I built in DirectEye, it's still changing. What I started building in Facebook in like 1 year back, I'm already planning to change it. The scale of software changes. Like when you start building something, you build for a very small set of people because you want to test your product if people like it. But as soon as people start liking it, you have to increase the scale of your product. You have to change maybe the entire design to increase the scale of your product. So yeah, so that answers maybe the first question also. Like you always have to build a prototype of your software. Like whenever you are building something, you can't build the entire product. Like if Facebook planned of building the entire Facebook before launching it to public, it would have taken them years, and maybe like it would have been too late. Maybe Google came up with something, like Google came up with output at that time. But since Facebook was like fast in the market, Facebook built a better product, people switched from output to Facebook. But let's say Facebook did not build a prototype. Facebook just tried to build the entire product, spent like 7-8 years before launching it to public. Until that time, Google improved their product in such a way that users were not ready to migrate to Facebook. It would have been a failure for Facebook. So whenever you are building something on software, you have to build a prototype. We call it MVP rather than calling a prototype, which is minimum viable product. So your product should be good. It should be working. It should not fail. But the number of features you have to add in your product can be limited. Just launch that product to public, see how it is performing, if people are liking the product or not. And looking at the performance, just try to add more features, try to scale it up and slowly make it a big product. In what way you have developed the Facebook software? How has it changed? So at this point, I'm working with the ads ecosystem of Facebook, and I'm trying to improve the experience of advertisers. So these days, like advertisers are really concerned about where their ad is being shown. So for example, they don't want their ads to be shown on a terrorist website. And I'm planning to do that because it makes sense. Like there's no point showing political ads. Let's say an ad which is promoting someone in some particular website, right? So I'm trying to build a product for advertiser where they can target where their ads is being shown, and they can ensure that their ads is not being shown in a place which they don't like. So yeah, that is what I am doing here, and I'm developing. That is how I'm developing Facebook software. So Facebook is a very big company. When you think about Facebook, you think about Facebook platform like Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, but Facebook has around 30,000 engineers. So this is a trade-off which you have to take in your life, whether you want to work with a small company, a startup, which I also did in like 3 years back, where whatever you are building, you will build things from scratch and you will see how that is being used, and you will maybe make the biggest product of that company. And maybe that slowly the company will grow and you will also grow with the company. But when you work with a company like Facebook, you are building on very small things. The idea is to have engineers work on a small thing and make it perfect, rather than an engineer working on a very big thing and fail. So yeah. Cool. So I see one last question. What is your favorite invention of all time? Uh, so on that, I think I've covered this question before also, that if I think now, maybe that was not something which was really great, which I built in my past. But when I was working with Coupon Dunia, that was the first time. It was a very small company, and I got the entire liberty to build the entire app of Coupon Dunia. And that was the first time when I built something from scratch, when I actually tested if people are liking what I built or not. When I've actually, if someone is not liking my product, I've actually worked on, changing things on that product, and then see again if people started liking it more, get people feedback. So this was like kind of building a company from scratch, and I really enjoyed that part. It was amazing. But the only thing which I realized was that maybe I need more of business sense. During that work only, I realized that I don't have that much business sense. I am very good technical person. I can build an app. I can build it at a very good app technically. It will not fail. It will never break. But I don't know the business sense. I don't know what people will like, how to sell it to people. And that is what I need to know more. And that's why I joined Facebook, which is a big company, which is doing amazing, which is earning like billions of money. And I can see how they are selling their things to Facebook, to users. So yeah. Are there any dangers on your job? No, not at all. So, oh, maybe I missed this part during my slides, but Facebook is a company which really focuses on work culture. We have, so this is, I think, true for any other engineering jobs. I don't know much about finance jobs or about management jobs. I think they are sometimes very hectic. You have to spend like 12, 13 hours in office, but in engineering, the companies like Facebook, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, all the big companies try to build a very good work culture. You get amazing perks. You have like 25 holidays in a year. You get amazing work-life balance. Like they force you to not be in office for more than 9 hours. Like they force you. My manager every day tells me to go back home just just in time so that I can have a proper work-life balance. We never have to work on weekends. Like weekends are always free. We will never get a call or anything on weekends. So these are the work-life balance you get in engineering jobs because the job is defined. You know what you are building. You can plan your timeline properly. You don't get ad hoc work. So, and Facebook is like one of the best company in that. Like Facebook is trying to build that culture where people are trying to spend minimum time in office and having a good community outside of office. When we think about danger, no, not at all. Facebook ensures that all the employees are safe. We have like really good, like we have guards all across the building. Nobody who is not from Facebook, not a guest of any employee from Facebook can enter the office. We don't work with anything which is like dangerous or something. We are just building software, and a software can never explode, right? So yeah, there are no dangers in the job. There are dangers like if you are building something big and if you launch it to users and maybe they don't like it and you have to scrap your product. So there are dangers like that, but there's no like personal danger. What are your next steps once you have made the advertising easier? uh, I would say making an advertising easier is not a very small problem. If the entire world is spending like billions or trillions of money in advertising, their demand will keep on rising. And so that is on the spend side. The consumer side, uh, it's really difficult to make someone buy something just by advertisement. So we have to make our advertisement like crazy. They should be like catching. People should start, whenever you see an advertisement, so stick on your mind, okay, I want this product. So this is not a very easy problem. This will take a lot of time. But yeah, uh, once I have a really good knowledge of how advertisement world work, once I have a very good knowledge of how business work, how can you sell something to people, because that was the thing which was lacking when I started my own company. I was good in technically, but I was not good in business. So I want to learn that from Facebook. And once maybe let's say in the next 3-4 years, I have a good knowledge of business. I know how to work in a big team, and then maybe I will start something of my own. I have not thought of anything yet what I want to work on, but I definitely want to work on something which can help people from small villages like mine, which can help them understand what is happening around the world, give them good knowledge, and maybe make them move out of the village or make the village self-sufficient so that, you know, they can also grow. Right now also, whenever I go to my hometown, I feel that people are not spending time on studies. People are still facing problems with, let's say, basic problems like electricity. There's no electricity. So I want to build something which can solve these problems and give back to my village. So that is what I have in my plan. Can you confirm how long you have worked at Facebook? So I have been at Facebook for like 1 year now. I'm very recent at Facebook, but then at Facebook, people keep joining all the time. So 1 year at Facebook, and the culture is move fast. You have to learn things really fast here. You have to grow really fast here. So it's just 1 year in Facebook. And even now I feel that I know a lot about Facebook, and like I have grown a lot in Facebook. I don't feel that I'm new to Facebook now. So yeah. What age do you see yourself at retiring at? So when I think of, so I've never given actually a thought about this yet. As I say, like I want to build something of my own. And when you build something of your own, there's no age of retirement. You can work on it till the time you want, or you can retire like even 20 years earlier. It's your choice. At this point, I've not given any thought to it. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I don't understand if I retire, what will I do? So I am a huge traveler, and that is again an advantage of being working in an engineering company, especially in a software engineering company, that I get enough time to travel. I get enough time to pursue all my hobbies. So I like to travel. I have been in London only for 1 year, and I have already visited like 7 countries in Europe. So that is the amount of time I get. I get like 25 paid leaves. So which is like, and on that I have like all Saturday, Sunday off. So I have a lot of time to travel. I have a lot of time to pursue my hobbies. So we have a music room in Facebook. I love music. Like I never tried to play something on my own, but I almost spend my entire day listening to music. Like music is always there in the background. And then I thought that I have so much time, why not pursue this hobby of mine, and why not start learning some musical instrument? And we have music room also in Facebook. So these days, every day after office, I spend like half an hour trying to play synthesizer. So I don't see the need of retiring, at least now. Like if I am getting enough time to do what I love apart from job, then why retire? It's best to do your job also, where you are getting money, you are doing something interesting, you are working with people in a community, you're not alone, and then maybe pursuing all your hobbies also. So yeah, I don't see at this point myself retiring, or I don't have anything in mind. If things get worse in future, if I'm not getting time for my hobbies, if I'm not getting time to relax, then maybe I'll start thinking about it. The other question is, where do you see the future of software engineering going? Truly speaking, at this point, I think software is engineering is going to be the most demanded engineering field in the market, at least for the next like 1 decade or so. I'm 100% sure about that. We are like, already software engineering has grown a lot, but I can see that still there are a number of sections where we can improve. We have not done enough in artificial intelligence. We have not done enough in machine learning. So artificial intelligence is something where the computer learns on its own, and then like basically on the robotics wall, like you build a robot and then robot learns on its own, and then robot does the work for you. Machine learning is something which is like, if you show an image, so at this point if you show an image to, let's say we have like Google image product, if you can just upload an image and Google will tell you whether it's a cat or it's a dog. So it's like basically making computer behave like human. So we have advanced there a little bit. Another example is like self-drive cars. So when we drive car, everyone, like we have a driving system, we follow rules, but still there the chances of us doing error is more than the chances of a machine doing error. Like if you can train a machine, the machine will never do error. But still now self-drive cars are not there in the market. Like we are still trying to improve that. So there is a lot of scope to do in software engineering. The entire world is moving towards software engineering. There were companies which were like 1,000 years old, which were never into good tech, but now they are coming to Facebook, Instagram, and showing ads on Facebook, which is again software. They are moving away from showing ads on television, on newspaper. Everyone is doing digital marketing. So software engineering is growing like anything, and I don't see software engineering going anywhere, at least in my lifetime. We still have a number of hard problems to solve, but yeah, in case of machine learning, in case of artificial intelligence, I think that those are the next hardest problem. The saying goes that maybe even in 10 years, we will be able to find a solution for that, or maybe even in 100 years, we will not be able to find a solution for that. So I think that is the next step of software engineering, and it's really difficult to comment on the timeline. But yeah, at least for the next 10 years or so, software engineering is not going anywhere. How long did it take to become a software engineer? For me, it was a hard problem because so in my village there was no discussion about software engineering. Nobody knew about software engineering. I never owned a computer, so for me it was really difficult. Out of village also, like when I joined my university, I thought that I'm more into civil engineering because I had no idea about software engineer. And so there also I was doing civil engineering. I did not do any particular course in software engineer. So for me, it took me like 5 years of my job life to understand properly how software engineering works. But for other people, like if people like you, if you know about what software engineering is after this talk, if you are interested in software engineering, maybe from now only you can start doing things at computer. So you need to have a love for computer, you need to have a love for mathematics, and you need to have a love for science. If you have these love, if you have these things in your passion, you will become a very good software engineer. Don't worry about that. And when you say that becoming a software engineer, so there are various phases. There's first phase where you can just build something, improve something which is already built, and you can fix that. Then the other phase is where you can build something from scratch. And then the third phase is where when you are building something, you can build something scalable, where like even if like 1 billion people are using your product, they should be able to use it successively. The way I say, like if you are opening google.com, even if like 1 billion people are using google.com at the same time, Google is able to give them result in minimum time. So that is one major challenge of software engineer, which takes time. But yeah, you can start your career just by improving products from a small company, and then maybe grow on slowly. It's a continuous learning curve. Even now, I will not say that I'm the best software engineer in the world. I'm still learning, I'm improving a lot. But yeah, in 4 or 5 years, you get to know a good knowledge of software engineering. How old were you when you joined Facebook? For me, it was really late because I did my undergrad, then I was in other companies for 5 years. So when I joined Facebook, I was like 28 years old. So right now I'm 29. So it's like 1 year in Facebook. So yeah, I joined Facebook at 28 years old, but there are some of my colleagues who joined Facebook just out of university at like 23 or 24. I think like that's the lowest age. After university, you can join Facebook if you want. Like Facebook will hire you. Do you have any hints and tips to become a good coder? That's a nice question. In my opinion, to become a good coder, like software engineering is one thing. You need to understand about software engineer, about software. You need to know a number of software languages. But the other thing is to understand people need, rather than focusing a lot on software engineering, rather than focusing a lot on coding, because coding is easy. The problem which is challenge is to understand people need. If you are building something, you have to understand what people want. For example, let's say if you are using an app, now let's say if you have to buy something, and if to buy something, if you have to go to like 15 different places, if you are not able to find anything which you want to buy, if your search is not working fine, let's say if you're buying something on Amazon, and if you're, let's say, searching for a computer, and let's say if you search for a computer and Amazon gives you a washing machine, it is a difficult problem for you. So to become a good coder, you have to understand what people want, what is something which is lacking, and then building that is not easy. So start empathizing with people, start understanding what is something which people are looking for, and that is your path to become a good coder. And then at the same time, like, technology is changing every day. Coding is a rapidly growing field, and technology is changing like anything. So you have to be in touch with all the latest technology. If you just keep building your things on old technology, your product will go slow, and all of your computer will move ahead of you. So you have to keep reading. Coding is not a job where you can just say that I know enough now and I don't need to read anymore. I still read like 1 hour or 2 hours every day after office to know what is happening in the market. I follow news blog website like Hacker News and a number of other blog websites like Wired.com, and I keep reading what is happening in the market, what is the new technology which is coming up, what are people doing, and that helps you improve your knowledge. So you have to keep reading to become a good coder, because the technology is changing every day. How hard was it to get your first job? So this is actually a good thing at this point of time, that there is so much demand of coding. There is so much demand. Every company is trying to improve their technical aspect, and company is hiring software engineers to improve their software, to improve their product, that getting a job in software engineering is not very difficult. Yeah, if you want the best job in software engineering, let's say if you want to go to Facebook, Google, it can be challenging because almost everyone apply for Facebook, Google, and then they shortlist a few people. But I would say that is not like something which you should like get sad about. There are a number of other good technical firms. There are a number of technical firms: Facebook, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Netflix. Like, and I can count thousands of firms on my finger which are into technology and which are trying to improve the world experience using technology. And getting a job in one of them is not difficult. You just have to be prepared. You just have to be passionate about coding. Like, you just have to be passionate about building new features, and you will get a job. If you did not work for Facebook, where would you like to work? Uh, as I said earlier, I am an entrepreneur by heart. I am a software engineer. I love coding, but then at the same time, I want to code something which can be helpful for people, which can be helpful for my people of my village, which can be helpful for people of the world. And if not at Facebook, maybe in future, like I would want to start my own firm. I would want to start my own company and not work for someone else. But that is future. At this point, I want to understand business knowledge, and Facebook is giving me the best place to do that. Thank you. I don't see any more question here. I hope I answered all your question.
I think you're right there. So actually some great questions there, and well answered, may I say. Thank you very much. Yeah. So does anyone have any other questions? Because if not, we'll close the meeting down.
No, I don't think there's any other question left.
No. Okay, well, so thank you everybody for taking part in this live online engineer event. And oh, there you go. Sorry, there's one more there for you, Sarvesh.
Oh, there's one more. What's the favorite part of your job? I don't know. Like, so I'm in office for around 8 hours a day, and the entire day is so amazing that I don't realize when the entire day passed. I don't realize when the entire week passed. In fact, these days on weekends, I feel like, oh, I'm missing office, because that is something which I'm doing, like really challenging work. I'm enjoying that work. So I can say the entire day of my office is like my favorite. But still, if you just want me to pinpoint one of the things, it's mostly about the discussions we do, because Facebook has an amazing peer group. The Facebook hires like really, really best people from the world, and having this, like discussing anything from there. Like, let's say if you are building something, if there's some new design which I'm building, and it's always good to discuss this with your friends, with your peer group, and understand like what they think about it. And the ideas which I get from them, it's amazing. So it's always like a huge learning for me whenever I discuss some design with them. So that is one part which is very interesting. The other part is I like to fix things. I'm more of a fixer kind of guy. So whenever I get something, like if I get to know about something which is breaking or which is not working the way it is supposed to work, I just dive into it, start looking into why it is not working. And I'm like a highly curious guy. Till the time I find an answer for that, it becomes very difficult for me to move out of my desk. So I really love that part. But then sometimes it makes me sit at my desk continuously for 3-4 hours just to find a problem, like what is happening. So yeah, I enjoy these two things a lot. But overall, my entire day is super amazing. Like, I don't know where my day goes. It has been 1 year in Facebook and in London, and it feels like I came to London just yesterday. So yeah.
Lovely. So anybody else have any questions? Well, as I was saying before, thank you everyone for participating, and huge thanks to Sarvesh.
Yeah.
A great presentation and great Q&A session. So thank you everybody. I'm going to close the meeting down now. If anybody has any feedback, please send it to me and I'll pass it on back to Sarvesh. So
yeah, I would love to get some feedback. This was my first time and I really enjoyed doing it. As I said, this is something which I love, to help people. And because I did not know about software, I did not know about coding when I was in my like second or third year. and I really want to spread the knowledge to other people. So feel free to share feedback with me, and I would love to do sessions like this more.
Brilliant. Thanks, Sarvesh. So thank you, everybody. And I'm closing the meeting now. So thank you. I'll send you an email, Sarvesh. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you all.